Despite what their moms told them, they just aren't talented enough for radio. Unfortunately, anyone can have a show these days. Sean.
Well, I'm pretty hard to figure out sometimes. In fact, I can't even figure myself out sometimes, so don't you try to.
Joe.
You're an idiot. And really a disloyal person.
This is the Cuse Militia. Those two unapologetically biased, orange-blooded homers, Sean and Joe.
It's the most bullshit thing I've seen in 30 years.
Welcome, orange men and ladies. Happy Sunday. This is the Cuse Militia with Sean and Joe for the Believe Entertainment Network at Cuse Militia on the socials. Go there, join the militia live on X Spaces. Well, that's over with. That part of the year season is over. For football. After a 70 to nothing, or 70 to 7, sorry. It was almost nothing. It was very close to nothing, which would have been the worst loss in Syracuse history. But instead, they mustered up to 7 points to manage that embarrassment and whatever was left we all felt yesterday. So it's the worst loss since 1893. When it was 66 to nothing against Union.
I remember that game.
Yeah, that was a rough year, 1893. Not great. They also got waxed by Cornell at one point. And 62 to nothing in 1999 against Virginia Tech, I believe. There was a couple of them on there, but this one ranked fourth, basically. The first three were two of them were Union. The worst loss ever was against Union. I forget the score because it's funny. I looked this up on my phone, which I'm using for video for me and Joe right now. But I looked this up on my phone and it came through. And I found it on Syracuse.com. I just Googled it and Syracuse.com had it. And I looked at it and I could see everything. So I pulled it up on the computer to give you all the information that I had seen earlier from my phone. And I get one paragraph and the rest is blurred out. So whatever. That's weird. It works on your phone and doesn't work on the computer. But anyways, yeah, it was like the fourth worst loss in Syracuse history and the worst since we were just little ones in 1893. Yep. So, yeah, pretty freaking embarrassing. So I guess we move on, right? We're going to talk about do you have anything to say? I mean, that would be any different than what I had to say?
Nah, it was rough. And it's funny when you look at the box score and it's like time of possession was almost 42 minutes to 18 minutes. We ran 80 plays. They only ran 39. And they still had way more yards than us. They had 3 touchdowns before their offense touched, the field. Obviously you're not going to win games against a college football playoff team like that. And honestly, this is, to me, Notre Dame's the best team we played all year. Fran Brown has pretty much made it known that he's going to be playing some of the younger guys and getting them ready.
Yeah,
I hope they don't burn Luke Carney's red shirt. And I know a lot of people are asking, why are we starting Filardi? And I guess the only thing that I could come up with yesterday as I thought about it. Because Luke Carney still played, right? So,
but he had one more game. He had one more game.
Well, yeah, but now we have Boston College,
right? And he has 0 games.
Yeah, so Luke Carney can't play next week if he wants to, retain the red shirt, which Fran Brown said he was planning on doing. So, I think that Ricky Collins is probably the best option, even though I don't think that we have an option that's going to make us competitive against teams like this. And my only thought process is that he's starting Filardi because he knows he's not going anywhere. Why waste reps on guys that are probably going to go in the transfer portal when you got a quarterback that you're trying to build up, get confidence, true freshman, and he's here for lacrosse, right? So he's not one of those guys that I think we have to fear is going to go into the transfer portal as a quarterback because that's not his first sport. So why not give that guy who is going to be here the most reps as possible, and hopefully, you never know, maybe he ends up getting to a point where he's a decent backup. That's really the only thought process that I could take as to why we started Filardi. So
it's a good thought process. I stopped thinking about it. Like why are we doing this stuff? Why we're doing what we're doing? I stopped because it really doesn't matter. And I don't even think coach can save face as far as when Steve Angeli went out, that was it. And it's crazy. It's just crazy to me how big of an impact that eventually had. Think about it like this: in 35-0 in the first 15 minutes of the game is the most what do you want to say, explosive start that Notre Dame has had to any football game in their history. Okay, that includes all these scrub FBS schools that they are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have made up a script that would have made it that bad that early.
I mean, it's just, I'm not even mad. I'm just embarrassed. I turned it off when it was 20. I changed the channel and turned the TV off, but I changed the channel to 28, nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my son must be a masochist because he was in there just soaking it in.
Yeah, me too.
And I was like, I'm good, man. I got other things to do. But anyway, we digress.
Yep.
Syracuse will play in the 2025 Players Era's Men's Championship in Las Vegas. It's going to go from the 24th to the 27th. And obviously the known matchups for us right now are Houston Monday at 3:30 and then Kansas Monday at 3, for Houston, and then Kansas on Tuesday at 3:30.
Right.
So Kansas currently ranked 24th in the nation, Houston ranked 2nd in the nation. So this is what I kind of found out through their website, how this Players Era's championship tournament works, right? So it's 18 teams, and every team plays 2 preset games, Monday and Tuesday. Those results determine Wednesday and Thursday's pairings, and what'll happen there is the tiebreakers. The way this is seeding is used is the head-to-head matchups. They total the point difference, basically the points scored, then the fewest points allowed. Those metrics are used to rank the teams with identical records to determine who meets who in the final days, right? So basically how it works in short is if your third opponent is assigned after the first 2 games, and it depends on Syracuse combined records in the tiebreakers there. So they have to have the same record. Okay. So if Syracuse goes 2-0, which is likely not to happen, then they'll play a 2-0 team, 1-1, and so on and so forth. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's kind of a cool concept. And I don't ever remember being in a tournament like this, to be honest with you. To have the 2 preset games where you get the analytics, and based off those analytics is how you finish off the rest of the tournament. In alphabetical order: Alabama, Auburn, Baylor, Creighton, Gonzaga, Houston, Iowa State, Kansas, Maryland, Michigan, Notre Dame, Oregon, Rutgers, San Diego State, St. John's, Syracuse, Tennessee, and UNLV those are your teams heading into this thing.
Yep.
And I mean, that's kind of, I mean, I can give you examples and stuff like that, but y'all get it. You get the concept, right? So, it's not, I just read off the teams. There's a lot of good teams in there. I mean, what happens is Syracuse has an opportunity to basically, they have an opportunity to play, I mean, up to 5 ranked opponents within the next few days. Because then, we come home, or we go to Tennessee, but after this tournament, we play Tennessee, right? And they're currently ranked.
Yes.
So
Tennessee's also in this tournament.
What's that?
Tennessee's also in this tournament too.
Right. So
Notre Dame, which is obviously 2 teams that we're going to play.
Right. And
year.
We could match up with either one of them, which is kind of interesting. We can get an old school Big East rivalry game if we match up with St. John's, for instance, right? Or Rutgers, okay? But it'll be interesting to see. And basically the metrics, it's funny because the metrics are the same type of metrics that you'd use in the net. So they basically have to keep these games as tight as they can for a number of reasons, right? Yep. They have to go ball out. And they got it's 3 days of games, right? 4 days of games.
Well, I think what it is I think after the second day they rank, they seed you.
Yeah.
And I think it's basically the top 4 teams probably, or
it's the top 4 teams that will go into like the championship bracket
the next day. Right. So there's only going to be 2 teams that play 4 games.
Right.
But we're guaranteed 3.
Right. Okay. So we got an opportunity to play up to 4 ranked teams by the time we get to after Tennessee.
Yeah, but we'd have to start off 2-0. So, if we do that, that changes the whole trajectory of the season, right?
Oh, if we go 1-1, it could change the trajectory of the season.
Well, I mean that helps, right?
Yeah. I mean, even if you go 1-3 or you end up 2-1, I mean, going 0-3 isn't going to be great, but there's a lot of good teams in this tournament, and really it comes down to the point differential for each one of these games. It's how they're going to come out of this, and then that's how they're going to go into the net eventually. So
yeah, I mean, you want to win the games, right? But I mean, it's a situation where even if we play them close, it's going to help us just based upon strength of schedule and things of that nature.
It just sucks because they start these games in the middle of the day. I mean, I know not all of them start in the middle of the day, but being that it's Las Vegas, that makes it noon there on a Monday, right?
Oh, yeah, when they're starting the games around noon.
Oh, okay. Our Eastern.
I believe so, yeah.
Are you sure?
Pretty positive.
Okay. Well, then are my times, that's the question. Are my times
wrong?
Wrong because I'm looking at it from an East Coast perspective. So is it really noon? Hold on. I can tell you right now.
No, it's really 6 p.m.
No, you're right. It is. It's 6 p.m. So my bad. It'd be 6 and it'd be 3:30. Or excuse me, 6 and 6:30.
Right.
According to the website. But according to Syracuse's schedule, it's 6 and 3:30.
Yeah, so they're probably just doing it based upon there. And I know that they're playing in 2 different venues out there too. So you got 2 games going on at once. The earliest I see, Tennessee Rutgers is 1 p.m. On TNT. I want to say, and again, that's our time, right? But I want to say that there's another one it's
Rutgers Notre Dame, or excuse me, it's
Tennessee Rutgers the first game.
Tennessee Rutgers, and then Creighton Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a game. They might overlap, but they do not. That's probably why they're doing 2 separate venues, but they do not have games that start at the same time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's going to be, which is a brilliant idea, because you know how it can be when you're supposed to play at 6 and you have 4 games ahead of you. You might be playing at 8, by the time everything's said and done, if we're talking about overtime and all that, right?
Yeah. So I think they spread it out enough to where, it's just the next one. Yeah. Right. 3:30. So yeah, that's how they're going to do it. And honestly, I mean, I like it too, because, we can kind of keep an eye, and there's a lot of good teams in that tournament. And, when one game's over, you can turn the channel and watch the second half of hopefully another good game, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's 1 p.m., then 2 p.m. for Creighton Baylor, and then 3:30 for Kansas Notre Dame, 4:30 for St. John's and Iowa State. It's 6 for our game, and then 8 Auburn, Oregon, 9:30 Gonzaga, Alabama, and then Michigan and San Diego State, 10:30, and UNLV in Maryland at basically midnight. Starts at midnight. That sucks for Maryland. That sucks for both of them, but it really sucks for Maryland.
Yeah. That's midnight here. So what, 9 or 8 there? Or 10 there?
Yeah, and it's a home game for them.
Yeah.
So anyways, TNT Sports. It'll be on. So anyways. All right, Joe, I didn't do too much looking into either one of these teams. I just know that they're good. And when you look at our first game being against Houston, who's second in the country, I mean, they did beat, at the time it was 22nd ranked Auburn. They beat them by 1 point. Yep. Which is their, that's their really only legit game that they played. So they're 5-0. Obviously, this is a team that they've kept it together. They've been in. When were they in? Weren't they in the Final Four recently? Was it last year? Year before?
I think last year. I mean, they've been a solid top. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been a solid Final Four prospect for a number of years, and they seem to be headed the same way this year. So,
right.
It's likely to be a very difficult game. These are both going to be difficult games, but that's going to be a difficult game. So, Kelvin Sampson, I think we all remember him. And then Final Four and then runner-up. Yeah, I'm just looking here.
I was going to say, I think they made a national championship game here recently.
Yeah, they're a runner-up. Yep. So, it's going to be difficult, dude. You got both these teams are they're both veteran teams. They got really good coaching and Bill Self and Kelvin Sampson. So it's going to be difficult. It's just a matter of, coming out of the gate. It's going to be a tough 40 minutes. It's going to be a tough 80 minutes.
Yeah, no, he's Kelvin Sampson. He's got his team. I mean, they're known for their defense, but recently they've gotten better with offense as well. Since 2018, 2019, the year before COVID, they made the Sweet 16. Then obviously the next year, the season was canceled. But then they made the Final Four. Then the next year, the Elite Eight. Next year, Sweet 16. 2023-24 Sweet 16, and then last year obviously lost in the national championship. So, last 5 years they've got 2 Final Four appearances, an Elite Eight appearance, and the other ones have been Sweet 16s. So, they haven't lost double digits in a regular season since 2016-2017 season. So, since then, Kelvin Sampson's pretty much had these guys, pretty much in contention every single year. So scary team, and he's built a nice little culture over there that is a championship contender every year.
Yeah, and with the way Syracuse plays, they're just going to have to, as always with any basketball game, limit turnovers, and rebounding is going to be big because they emphasize, Houston emphasizes rebounding in the paint and things like that, second chance points, and they're obviously athletically, and not just athletically, but as far as experience goes, Syracuse is just such a young team that it's going to be a huge challenge. Both these teams. So anyway, Kansas, they were ranked 20. They were ranked in the preseason top 25. When you look at their schedule so far this year, they did get beat by Duke, and they were beat by North Carolina.
Yeah.
So the other ones, I mean, I don't know how good Princeton is this year, but they beat Princeton. They beat Texas A&M Corpus Christi in Green Bay. So their 2 ranked opponents that they played, they lost. And they lost by 13 against Carolina, and they lost by 12 against Duke.
Right.
And unfortunately, both of those teams look really good. I'm talking about Carolina and Duke.
Yeah. No, I know. That's going to be an issue. Obviously, we know that. We knew North Carolina and Duke. They're normally pretty good. The blue bloods, so to speak. But another big thing too here is Duke's. One of Kansas's star players, Darren Peterson, is going to miss all 3 games in Vegas. I don't think he played against Duke. He's one of their more touted freshmen that came in this year. He's going to be missing the tournament due to a hamstring strain. So they're not going to be, fully loaded as far as with all the talent that they have. So this one's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see because already they've played 2 different ACC teams, and then also their first game is against Notre Dame, who's 4-1. So it's going to be interesting to see, the type of game that Notre Dame can give them, because I think that we're more talented than Notre Dame. But then also when it comes to us, I mean, they're down a player, and North Carolina won by 13, Duke won by 12. I think it's going to tell us a little bit about our team and how close we are to the North Carolina and the Duke as well, right? I mean, we know they're going to be good, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I'm just saying. I mean, if we want to be competitive with the North Carolinas and the Dukes in the ACC this year, regular season, which is I think what a combined three games this year. We can't come out and get beat by double digits against a Kansas team who's missing one of their star players.
And who's also lost 2 games this year, too.
Right.
I mean, they're not Houston coming in with an undefeated record, but, like I said, Houston, they played Auburn and won by 1. So I don't question how good they are, but the resume is not really there right now.
Well, yeah, and like just after reading some of this too, this injury to Darren, it actually happened in the North Carolina loss that game. So he got hurt and injured in that game. He didn't play against Duke. So again, maybe it's a situation where if Kansas has that, Darren Peterson fully healthy, then maybe it's a closer game. He's a 6'6" guard who was averaging 21.5 points for the first 2 games. He was the number 2 recruit overall in high school and is actually, it says here, projected number 1 pick in ESPN's most recent 2026 NBA mock draft. So, I mean, the guy that they're missing here is like a one and done, should be the man right on the team, and then be going to the, being a
blue blood,
a top 10 lottery pick next year, right? So,
right. Well, I don't know what else to say, Joe. What are you looking? What are you going to be looking for? I mean, for me, it's just going to be how well can we play these teams. I expect to start 0-2. That's where my expectations are. But an opportunity, and also this team hasn't been really tested that hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's gonna be going from 0 to 100.
Well, we had what? So right, but we had last time we spoke. It was the preview for the Monmouth game, so we hadn't even really talked about the Monmouth game. Monmouth, as weird as that game went, obviously they were the best team that we played up to date. And in KenPom, they're in the low 200s. I think that they played out of their mind. I think their big man had a really good game. I think their point guard played out of his mind. They made some ridiculous shots, and obviously we allowed them to stay in the game with a lot of the free throws that we missed. It was one of those weird games where I felt like we had it in control, and then we were starting to slip away, and then we kind of just let them slip back in, and they actually had a chance to hit a 3 and tie the game at the end of the game. So it was a close game. We kind of had to finish it, but we can't go 19 of 33 from the free throw line against teams like this and think that we're going to have a chance to win. So I'm looking for them kind of to bounce back from Monmouth.
We talked about too how Monmouth was from deep, and they were. Pretty good.
Oh yeah, and they're always gonna play hard. I mean, I thought it was interesting with the coach for Monmouth being there for 16 years or 14 years or whatever it was, and it's clear that they're one of those mid-major programs where they kind of are always have a chance to win their conference and go to the tournament, but also they develop guys pretty well to the point where they lose 2-3 guys a year to the transfer portal to go up and play Power 5. So they're always a dangerous team. Something tells me that point guard and that big man are probably going to be in a better team next year, making a little bit of money. But yeah, we got through it nonetheless. I hated that the game was so late that I had to stay up that late and be so involved in that one and see it through. I kind of wanted them to win by 20 like the other games, but we need to bounce back from that. So I just hope that we can bring that energy, and really I don't want them to like I want to see the confidence. You know what I mean? I want them to show up like they're just as good as the other team and play like it for a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, well, that's what you hope they do every game, but yeah.
No, of course, but I'm just saying that we haven't seen.
Go ahead.
They haven't seen a team even close to
right
well, Kansas, let alone Houston, So I don't want to see that. They get there, they have some confidence, and all of a sudden they get punched in the mouth and they're overwhelmed, and then they're, not playing as hard. And I don't think that that's going to happen. I think they got enough energy guys, but obviously it's an individual basis type thing when it comes to that. So, I mean, it's the unknown. We have so many options. We're deep. I don't know if Tyler Betsy's going to play or not. But nonetheless, I'm just kind of interested to see how they play against talent like that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, but just, for their sake, it's just an opportunity, and it's early. And, games like this, before you go and have to play at Tennessee, I mean, they're going to be put through a gauntlet before they hit Tennessee, and then we're going to go to St. Joseph's, hosting them in the Dome at 9:00 again on a Thursday.
Right. Awesome. I'm going to take that Friday off, I feel like.
So stupid. So stupid. There's at least two more 9:00 games that are going to be during the week after St. Joseph's. So 3 more for the year, which is probably about what we get 4.
Right.
But it feels like 12. So.
Yeah. Well, and the good thing, too, is that it's, their neutral site. It's neutral site. So if you play some of these teams, I'm willing to bet that, Houston's going to end up being a top 10 team by the end of it. And I just feel like these are the type of games where you can lose a close one and still move up in, that it can still help you when it comes to KenPom and the net and things like that. So really it's just imperative more than anything that
it's a resume builder for the net. This is what this is. At the end of the day, it's something that we've missed the past few years, was an opportunity to play teams like this.
Well, we've had some opportunities, but then we end up getting blown out, and then it doesn't really matter.
Well,
right?
Yeah, that's true too. But this is a lot of opportunities, and this is a better team. So, with that said, I mean, this is a legit opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this whole tournament's based off of metrics. And if you go 0-2 and you get blown out, and you're in the bottom of this bracket, then you better not lose.
Well, and that's the other thing too, right? Is that it's a strong bracket, and it does matter, your first 2 games and everything. But I think there are a couple teams that are maybe on the outside looking in. When you look at the net, we're higher than the UNLV in KenPom right now. We're higher than Notre Dame. So there's a couple teams that we might be expected to basically win if we get to that third day, right? So
if you get blown out and you're playing in the bottom one, you gotta win. Yeah,
you gotta win that third one. Yes. Absolutely, right? But if we can pull out one of the game, we can pull out a game against play Houston tough, pull out the game against Kansas, and then you're 1-1. Then you got a good chance of playing another really good team, right? Get stuck playing against a Baylor, a Creighton team like that. It's still going to be a resume booster, whether you win or not, as long as you're competitive. And that's, to me, because we're so young and we're still trying to feel it. JJ, he was out for a little bit trying to figure out that whole thing. And then Tyler Betsy, is he playing? Is he not? Still trying to figure things out. Obviously, it's early in the season, but if we could play these teams competitive early in the season, then I'm going to like the forecast to going, into the rest of the non-conference and getting ready for ACC play.
So if you lose these first 2 games, you probably have to play on the 26th too, right? Wouldn't they obviously save the final 4 of the last 2 games for the last day of the tournament? You would think it'd be Thanksgiving.
Well, the last day is the 27th, right?
Right, it's Thanksgiving.
Yes. So, regardless of what happens the first 2 games, you're getting a third game. But the 27th is basically the championship game.
Right. Exactly. So they could be, if you're not, which I don't expect them to. I'm just saying it's going to be 3 days in a row.
Yep.
It's going to be 3 days in a row, and then
no matter what.
Right. And you get to go leave and go have Thanksgiving back in the dorm. So, right. And then that's a Wednesday. You're looking at Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and you're hosting Tennessee.
That Monday or Tuesday?
That Tuesday. I'm sorry, but it's 5 days. Yeah.
Right.
So, anyways, all right. Do you,
well, that's the other thing too, right? Like, I mean, there's some weird things that can happen. I mean, what are the chances that maybe we get set up to where the third day we have to play Tennessee? And then you get to go home for Thanksgiving, get 5 days. Guess what? 5 days later, you'll play them again.
That
would be interesting, right?
The whole. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the whole third day thing is a lot of fun. You could play any one of these teams. Like for me,
right.
I would love to be in a position to play a Notre Dame or either a Notre Dame, or like you said, Tennessee. You get to play them twice in a row, but I don't know how good I feel about that. But I'd rather see a Notre Dame, which is okay because we would just be playing Notre Dame twice. We only play them once in the season,
right?
So we'd only, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's a winnable game, especially what happened. It's funny, man. These Notre Dame fans that I know that like to talk a bunch of trash in football season. And when I say, okay, we'll see what happens in basketball season, it's always, oh, well, basketball doesn't matter. Yeah, because your basketball team is trash. But it does matter. It matters to us because you know what I'm saying? Plus, not to mention, that's an old Big East rivalry too. I mean, come on. It's got to mean something.
Right.
At least the basketball teams had enough spine to put themselves in a conference, for crying out loud. How you can do that with one sport, not the other, is ridiculous. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, and it's going to put, you got to think about it too. If you don't think that there's going to be teams, okay, we're playing over here, but then the other team's playing at the other arena, there's going to be scouts everywhere. This is going to give teams that are in the same conferences chances to scout them, right? Even the guys when it comes to the third, even Tennessee. Tennessee's playing Rutgers the first day. I think that they're going to win the first game, and I think that Tennessee's at least going to go 1-1, if not 2-0. I don't think we're going to see them in the third day. But nonetheless, that gives us and Tennessee 3 games to basically scout them in a row before you go take 5 days to play in the Dome 5 days later, right?
Yeah. Well, so, if they go 2-0, that means they beat Houston too.
Oh, they play Houston the second day?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're going to go 1-1. So maybe there is a chance.
You would think, right, yeah.
Maybe there is a chance. Right. I don't know. And that's going to be the fun thing about it is once you get past the first day and you see who's got what as far as records go, then it's going to be fun to track that, right? And to see kind of who's got what record, what's the point margin, everything like that.
Yeah, because until UNLV Albany ends at 2 a.m. Eastern, we're not going to know what the bracket looks like going into the third day. So you're going to wake up and you're going to look and see exactly what's going on. It's fun. It's a fun way to do a tournament. It's creative. It plays right into the net. And I mean, I think it's cool. I didn't know anything about this tournament. We've never been in it, so I've never looked at it. Yeah,
and I think it's only 1 or 2 years old because the reason why it is because the winner of this doesn't just get a trophy. I mean, the winner of this is $1 million in NIL money. I mean, this isn't just I'm winning a trophy in Vegas.
You get a trophy too.
Well, of course you get a trophy, right?
Yeah. But you get a big check.
But you get a nice little check to the school.
And if there's a school that could use NIL money, it's probably Syracuse.
I was going to say Houston. No.
That's just the thing, we see what happens when you don't have NIL money. At some point, this levels out, yada, 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 whatever. But right now, it could be a couple feathers in the cap for Syracuse. But obviously, I don't expect that. So it's going to be one of these teams who already has a lot of NIL money is going to get that much more NIL money. That's what's going to happen here. That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, look, and hats off to them. They played the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these people are doing a really good job of NIL. Syracuse was too proud to start it from the get-go, and they were a couple years behind. Proud or scared? But I think maybe, both, right? I mean, I think there's a little bit of pride in there. Like, oh, we're not going to play this game. Like, dude, what do you mean you're not going to play the game? It's the way the game's being played. You're not going to do it? That's dumb. But anyway, That was a couple years ago. But it did take a couple years for them to be like, oh, okay, well, now we're way behind. And that's a whole nother show, and we're not going to get into all that. Yeah. So, I think everybody has heard us complain about that enough. So, anyways, this is going to be a fun tournament. And, you just want to see what Syracuse has. And the ACC is going to be strong this year. The ACC basketball looks really good this year.
Yeah, a lot better than what it's been in recent years. For sure.
Yeah.
And the thing with this is that because of the money, it's attracting, those bigger name schools to this tournament. Usually it's like the Maui Invitational is normally the big Thanksgiving tournament.
What was the other one? What was the other one we did a lot? At Syracuse did a lot. Was it there was Maui and there was another one, I thought.
I feel like there was one in Alaska.
Anyways.
I don't think there is anymore, but I mean, there's a lot of them. I know that there was just one in the Bahamas. But I mean, there's a lot of even if it's a couple, what is this? The Shriners Children's Charleston Classic is going on right now. There's a lot of different tournaments when you're talking about towards Thanksgiving. But Maui was the big one, and this field is by far the toughest field of any Thanksgiving tournament. It's going to have more eyeballs on it than any other tournament.
There's so many teams.
Yeah,
I mean, so many teams.
But nonetheless, you're talking about, you look at this tournament, and I would probably have to say that I'm willing to bet that probably 14 out of 18 of these teams in this tournament are going to make the NCAA tournament. Right. So that's the type of teams that you're looking at. And at the end of the day, as long as you don't just show up and just get blown out in every game, then it's beneficial to you.
You putting Syracuse in that 14 out of 18?
No comment.
Too early to call. Hold.
I'm just saying it's too early to call, and I'm not trying to, not trying to jinx anything. Like I said, I think that this is, the best team that Red Autry's had, probably one of the better teams we've had in a little while, with a lot more options, but they're far from a finished product. So
yeah,
you got to see how they develop as a team, because I do think that they have all the pieces to be a pretty dangerous team. But this early, it's tough because we're not fully developed, but not so are a whole bunch of other teams, right? But Houston, they got some younger guys, but they also got some experienced guys that went all the way to a national championship last year. So, it's going to be really hard to pull off a team like Houston, but a team like Kansas, who's missing their best guy and coming off a loss, maybe it gives us a better chance. But I know, just you go when you play them tough, it's going to help you regardless.
Right. Well, all right. Don't look for a Boston College preview for football.
Because you ain't going to find it.
Because you ain't going to find it. Not here. Not on this station. Other people might be willing to do something like that, but it's not going to come here. And you got to feel bad for Giovanni, who started his first year with Q Sports Talk for the football season and had to endure this every pregame show. For his hour-long pregame show, he has to talk about.
Oh, don't forget the postgame.
He's got to do the postgame too. That's right, he does. So yeah, you know what? What doesn't kill you only is going to make you stronger.
We should call in next week. We should call in.
Yeah, right.
We should call in the postgame, and we should give him props for having to
not calling out sick. He's
a healthy young man.
He's a healthy young man, all right. And he's endured pain this year. See, we don't have to do a show when Syracuse gets beat 70-7.
Because it's not our job. We don't get paid to do it.
Because it's not our job. We can come here and talk about some tournament neither one of us really know anything about. We just BS it all the way through. And that's that. So anyway. Well, we appreciate all of you for tuning in. We'll be back here, I guess. I don't know. Well, next week. We'll be back here next Sunday to talk about all this. If we can get here before that, we will. However, don't count on it. Thank you. Appreciate you. For Joe, I'm Sean. We're out.
Peace.